Good afternoon. Today's lesson is on the law of sines. The law of sines can be used with even non-right triangles, so triangles without a right angle. For triangles which are not right angles, we can solve them, that is, find all of the sides, and all of the angles by using the fact that the ratio of a side of the triangle to the sine of the angle across from it. So the ratio of this side to the sine of this angle is equal to the ratio of this side to the sine of the angle across from it. It's also equal to the ratio of side C to the angle across from it, the sine of the angle across from it. So you can use this fact to solve the triangles in our problems today. Now, we need to solve for the missing sides and the missing angle. In problems like this, I look inside my triangle and see, can I figure out this third angle without having to use the law of sines, using information from the past? In this case, I can. The total of the three angles in a triangle is 180 degrees. And so I know that this one will be 180 minus 50 minus 30, which is 100. And so this letter, which is the Greek letter gamma, equals 100 degrees. So now we need to find out what side B and what side C are. So when we're using the law of sines, what we want to do to start out is to find an angle and the opposite side, which are given to us already, which would be this pair right here. So we can find the ratio of 10 to the sine of 50 degrees. And that's going to equal the ratio of a side to the sine of the angle across from it. Now what we need to do is we need to find out what the sine of 50 and the sine of 30 are. Then we can cross multiply. Now the sine of 50 doesn't appear on the unit circle, but for problems like this, let's use the calculator and enter in the sine of 50 degrees. Make sure the graphing calculator is in degrees mode. So that would be 10 over, I'd like you to go to 4 decimal places when you're doing problems like this. So to 4 decimal places, that would be 0.7660. And the sine of 30 degrees, if you remember the unit circle, or if you enter it in the calculator, you've got 0.5. So then cross products. 10 times 0.5 is 5, equals 0.7660 times B. Divide both sides by 0.7660, and we'll get B equals 6.527. Now we need to find side C. So we can use the same ratio, 10 to the sine of 50 is now going to equal side over sine of 100. We already figured out that the sine of 50 is 0.766. I'm going to just write 0.766 without the 0 over the sine of 100. Enter the sine of 100 degrees into your calculator, and you're going to have 0.9848. Cross products, and then divide by 0.766, and we'll have that C equals 12.6907 rounded to 4 decimal places. And now we've got all 3 angles and all 3 sides. Now for problems like this, remember that I told you that we want to look for a pair of side and angle which are given. So a pair of side and angle across from it that are given, and that's going to be what we start with. So we'll have 12 over the sine of 85 degrees. Now I can't figure out what alpha and beta are by using the fact that all three add up to 180 degrees because I only know one of the angles. So we're going to have to use the law of sines to find these two angles as well. Now, I need to set up a proportion of angle and side where I'm given at least one of the pieces of information. Otherwise, I'd have two variables involved. So I'm going to use this pair, 9 over the sine of beta. So the sine of 85 degrees, enter that into your calculator, and you would have 0.9962. And then cross products, 12 times the sine of beta, 9 times 0.9962 is going to be 8.9658. Divide both sides by 12. We got the sine of beta equals 0.7472. So we have to ask ourselves, which angle has a sine of 0.7472? So at this point, you would use the sine inverse feature on your calculator, because that tells us which angle has this sine. So we'd find that the sine inverse of 0.7472 equals, we're going to round this to the nearest tenth, 48.3 degrees for our beta. So we can substitute and write 48.3 degrees here. Last, we need to find what alpha is. So let's start with our basic relationship of side to angle, 12 over the sine of 85 degrees equals, now, ultimately we want to find what side A is. Now that we know two of the angles, we can subtract from 180 to find the third. And so that third one is going to be 180, take away 85, which is 95, and then take away 48.3 from that. And we're going to have 46.7 degrees here. So all we need to do now is find that side. So we do the ratio of the side to the sine of the opposite angle. We know that the sine of 85 degrees is 0.9962. So we'll substitute that. And the sine of 46.7 degrees is 0.7278. Cross products. And then divide both sides by 0.9962. And we have that side A is 8.7669.